Are we live? Are we live? We're live. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Styles UK Friday lunchtime live. Now, I'm very excited for this week's episode because we're talking all about Leavers 2025. Not just talking about it, but we are going to take you through the entire process. Now, we had so many views, so many comments on the Leavers 2024 full walkthrough that we did. And we thought it was only right to do the same thing again for next year. So I'm going to take you through the application side of things a bit later on in the live. I've got Andy with me today who is going to be taking you through the artwork because we have, as always, created our free artworking template for you all. So he is going to show you how you can find the template, download it, edit it, and then order your transfers. And then I've got a couple of popular hoodie types and colors here today that we're going to decorate with a brand new heat transfer type, which is very exciting. But without further ado, we'll get started. So Andy, shall I hand over to you to talk us through the Leavers template?
Yes, absolutely. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us for the Leavers 24-25 kickoff. I just wanted to remind everyone that's already been printing Leavers or anyone that's new and never printed Leavers before, it's a massive, massive opportunity. It's a really big chance for you to make some really great profit, and it's really easy printing. Molly's going to show exactly how to do that, but the opportunity is really big. We're talking like 3 million people each year that will require Leavers hoodie. And that's really just in like the secondary schools. There's so many kids that will be leaving at different age groups, primary school, secondary school. We print Leavers transfers with kids leaving like at year 4, even before they've even started school proper. So there's a massive, massive opportunity. And we're going to teach you how to take some advantage of that because there's really good profit margins in that. And it's something that everyone should do because it's same time every year. It starts to kind of pick up a little bit now, and then into January, February through to May, it's really nice, consistent business that all of you can achieve. It tends to be localized for the print as well. So it means that if you've got schools and colleges on your doorstep, it's a great opportunity for you. And the 25 template is something you can apply across pretty much anything as well. So think bigger than Leavers, think of any kind of school trip, university trip, college group, even like stag do's, hen do's, anything where the number 25 is, or an occasion where you want to put everyone's name onto the back of something. You can use this template for everything. You can just take the Leavers off the top at the end. It's really, really simple to get started with. And I'm going to show you how to do some of that artworking. But do go and think about this opportunity. Think about how many people are near you, because the average Leavers school is around 150 class people leaving that school. Some of them are even bigger. I think it was close to like 300 when I left secondary school. Some of them will be smaller, but the average is at around 150. So it's really good business for you because you can do 150 at a time, make say 10, 15 pounds profit per hoodie. And that's really good business to have in, and it's consistent. So today I'm going to show you how to apply all of this. So let me just share my screen with all of you. So I am here on the custom.styles.co.uk website, and this is where you have your full information hub on Leavers. So after today, you want to go and explore this a bit more. You want to learn a bit more about the opportunity. This is where you need to head to. So go to custom.styles.co.uk and click Leavers. I'm just going to pop that in the chat for everyone as well. So if you are joining us live today, do let us know, have you printed Leavers hoodies before? Is it something you're thinking about? Are you worried about it? Tell us why or why not you haven't been doing it. And we're here to help you. And we're going to give you some really great tips on how to get started with that. On this page, you've got a bit more information, the why, you've got the little bit of videos out. Today's video will be appearing there. And you've got a little bit of sneak preview. I'll let Molly talk about that a bit more. But the most important thing here, no more weeding. Anyone that's watching this video and is still doing Leavers transfers or making their own Leavers transfers with vinyl, today's the day to stop. It's really not good use of your time. It could take you 10, 15 minutes to weed every single one of them. And that's really going to eat into your profits because you're paying yourself to do that weeding. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, I like weeding. It's very cathartic. And that's fine sometimes if it's a specialty finish or it's something that makes sense for the work. But Leavers designs do not make sense for heat transfer vinyl. It only makes sense as a transfer. And the best way to do that, because levers transfers are one color 99% of the time, is to use a plastisol transfer, because that's how you get those really good price breaks when you get into those 50s, 100s, 150, 200 units, because you can make some really great savings there. And we're going to show you how to make those savings. And then if you scroll down, this is where you're going to find the form to get your own levers template. This will be an EPS file, so you can use it across many different artworking platforms. So whichever one you prefer to use, it's available for you to use. So made it kind of neutral, so that way you can really take advantage of it no matter what software you're using. I'm going to be walking through it with Illustrator today. That's our preferred software, but you could use CorelDRAW, whichever one you prefer. It's entirely up to you. So you fill out this form, and the next step is you're going to get an email. This email is going to give you the option to download the levers template, which we provided. We always do this free every single year because we really want to help you. We want to provide some value for you that way. Once you download the levers template, it's going to look a little something like this. So we've sent this to you in A3 to start off with, but you don't have to use this in A3. You should use it however it works for you. We find that A3 is the most profitable point for many of you, because that way you can gang 2 designs up on one, and you can cut that transfer cost down in half. So that's a great way of making some savings for all of you. And that's how I'd encourage you to do it. But again, take this design, you can maybe put it onto our jumbo transfer sheets, which are now available, which again is another thing that's new for this year. But really put it into our designer and find the price point and the system that works best for you. So you've got this lovely free template as an EPS file. There we go. And then the next stage is to find that data. So typically a school's going to send you a file with an Excel spreadsheet, because that's probably how they're going to store the data. They've probably taken the orders, or you've taken the orders, depending on how the relationship is with the school. But most likely you're going to export that data as an Excel file. That's the easiest way to do it. But let me just bring up the template again. Oops, that's the wrong one. Bear me one moment. Just need to grab the right file. I was playing around with the file earlier.
While Andy's trying to find that file, Beth, have we got any of our regular listeners with us today?
I'm not mic'd, but yes, hello to Darren. Darren's always with us. Darren, you can expect a parcel in the post soon. You know, we've got good numbers across YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn. So don't be a stranger, guys. Come and say hello. Let us know if you are fusing levers or if it's something that you've been thinking about getting into.
So, okay, I just want to give, while Andy's prepping his file, I want to give everyone a close-up of the template that he's going to be editing and filling the names in for today. So this is on a t-shirt, and I am going to show you how to apply it onto a hoodie and get like the placement right every time for the school leavers hoodies. But from a detail perspective, I'm not sure if this camera is going to focus straight away, but look at that detail in this jumper. And this has all been done with no weeding. This literally takes 10 seconds to apply and you are done. You've got a high quality, like that feels like part of the garment. This will last 75 plus washes if you follow the application instructions correctly, which we will show you how to do in today's video. And it just feels super, super soft. So yeah, Andy's going to show you how you can edit this, and then I'll show you how to apply.
Okay, so apologies for that, everyone. I had the wrong file open from when I downloaded it earlier. So just forget that first couple of minutes. But basically, you have your download file here, which you can see we've already built, so the text perfectly fits within the 25 already. So you're not going to have to do any design work. You're just going to have to put some text in. So if you take that Excel file, there's a couple of steps you are going to need to follow, and I'm going to talk you through that, and I'll explain why you need to do that, because we want to make your life easy every single time. So if we were to just copy that data now and place it into the text box here. So if we double click on this one and get the right one, And then you'll see we can go all the way across because these text boxes are connected. So it's very easy to spread all of your data across the whole number. And now if I was to paste this in, you can see it's keeping those columns. That is not how you want your artwork to look. You're going to spend lots of time putting spaces in, and it's going to be, again, you're going back to the same argument as why don't weed. You really need to make sure that you are following these steps. I'm going to show you each step of the way why, and then it'll be really easy every single time. So go back to the spreadsheet. What's really important is we want to connect this data. Where it's going wrong is because there's two columns and it's putting the first one in first and then the second one. That's why the names are all jumbled up and they don't look good. So it's a very easy formula to follow. All you need to do is follow this same formula every single time. So you go equals, you click the first cell, then you're going to have the and symbol, then you want to put some quotation marks in there, then a space, then a quotation, and then an and. Remember, this video is going to be up for as long as you need it, so don't worry about remembering this every single time. Then click the second cell, and then hit return. And just like that, you've managed to create one word together. Basically, this formula is adding the two together and then putting a space in the middle. If you just added them together, you'd have the first name rolling straight into the surname. That's why we put the little bit of formula in there. And now you know how to do it yourself. So get the first one, and then you can just double click and it'll do it, and it'll do all of them, or drag them all the way down to your data, and then it's done. But it's not quite done there. If I was to select this data now, it wouldn't be too bad. Pop it into Illustrator and we'll try again. It's better than it was before, but again, it still doesn't look right. The customer's not going to pay for that. So we just need to do a couple more steps here. So that's where we go back to the Excel spreadsheet. I'm taking my time a bit today because I really want to make sure you can follow every single step of the way. But once you've done this a couple of times, this is like 30 seconds. So the time to prepare artwork for Levers is going to really rapidly decrease just by following these steps. And then you can take advantage of doing it as transfers, which again is going to be a big bonus for all of you. So the next step is to take that data. And what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to copy it. And then I'm going to paste it here. I'm going to do a right click and paste the values. That's because if you look at this one, it just says Jade and Stone. If I look at this one, it keeps the formula. So if the next step I'm going to do, it's going to take the formulas with it rather than take the data. And I just want the data. I don't need the formulas going into Illustrator. So let's just delete that data. And then you're just left with this. So the next step is, again, just copy all of this data. We know it won't work going in like this. So that's why we need to follow these next steps. Going to copy it. Then we go to the top here. We'll do right click. And we're going to paste again. But this time we're going to pick transpose, which is the fourth option here. And you can see that it starts to spread the data across the top here. If I do it like that, it's not going to work. It has to be transposed because we really want the data to go directional like that because it's going to help us out later on. So hit transpose. Then I'm going to delete this. So I'm just left with the data across the top. Oops. Get rid of all of that. That's what we want. So, and this is, again, this is important. We don't want to keep it as an Excel spreadsheet from here on out. It starts in an Excel spreadsheet, which is fine. Or it might come in a CSV already, again, fine. What we really want to do is hit save on this. So, file, and then save as, and then you want to save it as a CSV file. This is really important because it's going to affect the next step. So we'd save that. And then once it's saved, open up Notepad. And I know this is probably something not many of you are familiar with. All of you will have it on your computer. Maybe some of you do use it, some of you don't. But it's always there on any kind of PC. It's really easy to get hold of. And we're going to open up that file. And when you first go into your file, I've saved it into a Levers folder here. Nothing's going to appear. That's because it's looking for another .txt file, another Notepad file. Notepad's a very clever, very simple software. It can open lots of different things. And we want to click all files, and then you see all of this data appears. You can't open an EPS file in here, but you can open up a CSV file here. So we open this up. That's the wrong one. Need to remember to hit save here. So now, I'll do that again. So our file, open, all files, and then you find this spreadsheet that you saved, and then it puts all this data in here. But obviously the first thing you can see is there's loads of commas in here. That's because we've created a comma separated file. So it adds the commas in, which is fine because it's really easy to get rid of them. You don't have to go in and delete every single one individually. At this point, we can just do a file, then we can do a find. So you could find all of them, or we can do a replace. So what I will do is I find every comma. So I don't know if you can see that or not, but I put comma in there. And on this side, the bottom level, I'm putting a space in. So every comma I want to replace with a space. And that's going to make the data look really good. So replace all. Then when I close that, you see you've got this nice block of data with a space between every single person. And if you, depending on your data, you could put as many spaces as you want into here. I'm just going to do one because then that's going to look the best. So now when I take this data and I open up Illustrator again, and I paste it in, you can see I'm like 95% done with the artwork in here. You can see here, this too is pretty much perfect. Depending on if the name goes over the end or not, you might want to add some spaces in here. That's basically it. Then you can just manipulate the rest of the data around a bit. So, okay, this one's gone over. You've got a bit of a space here. Okay, that's fine. Add a return in here. You maybe delete one up to the next level. And again, with a couple of clever clicks, this data is pretty much formatted already. Nice and easy. So if I was to follow that through at real time when I'm doing it myself, that's going to be really easy to follow and really easy to repeat every single time. No matter whether you get 25 names, 50 names, 100 names, you just change the size of the font to match the amount of names that are going in. And that way you've got really easy levers designs done. Then at this point, there's only a couple of steps left. I would just select both the text box here, create outlines. So I've got nice data for uploading into our wonderful EasyView system. And then you can either, I would just delete this one and then do a copy paste on the whole thing. There we go. Nice and lined up. You've got a little bit of space down here. So if you've got some very tiny designs, you could put a few more on here if you wanted to. Entirely up to you. And then you can just do file, and then you can save it as either an EPS, a PDF, or a CSV file, sorry, an SVG file, and then you can upload them into our system. That's really as simple as it is for levers. So after today, go back and watch this tutorial. You can skip through it quickly at real time then and just repeat the steps yourself and try it for yourself. So you get the free software, so you get a free artwork download. You can manipulate those steps in Excel and Notepad, get the data in there nice and quick, nicely formatted, so everything kind of sits nice and uniform. It will look really good for the schools. And then it gets very simple after that point. Not lots and lots of steps. If anyone wants me to do that again or go through it again, do leave a comment. If not, we'll carry on into the next steps. But we're going to move over back to the custom.styles.co.uk, the home of heat transfers in the UK. And this is where we have our very easy ordering system. So anyone that's joining us for the first time today, we let you order your heat transfers 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. We have the fastest turnaround in the UK, and heat transfers, which we recommend for levers, tend to be screen printed transfers, which you can find under here, under 1 to 5 color, because again, most lever stuff is one color. It's normally white, black, and red. I would encourage you to offer some schools some multicolored artwork. We have done some tutorials on that in previous years, which the same information applies to this tutorial. I think there's a nice look for adding gradients in, using school colors into this text, maybe doing 2 colors. But the options there, the main thing is to have that conversation with the school or club or society where you're using this and just see what they want from the design. The good thing is you can say yes and you can do it. So you've got 1 to 5 color here, or you've got Inktra. Molly's going to talk a little bit more about why Inktra. I just want to share some of the pricing with you on these products, but screen transfers are extremely versatile and they're great for levers designs. So if I was to click on that one, you can see I've got lots of different sizes. There's 9 options. So you can do 1 at a time, you could do 2 at a time with an A3, or you could get lots onto a jumbo sheet as well. It's entirely up to you. Work this through. All the pricing is very transparent, and it's exactly the same for Inktra. And Inktra is the one to look out for this year for levers. This is the one where the pros are going to be using because it takes the levers printing element to a whole new level. So let's go on A3. That's where I've done my design, and I'll explain why. So it prompts you to add your design here. So I'm going to add a screen printed design. I'm going to go into my library to find my artwork from earlier. Select my design. It's going to ask me what colors I've used. So it already recognizes I've used black. And at this point, you could change it to any color you wanted to. If you wanted to add yellows, pinks, blues, greens, even some shimmer colors, some fluorescent colors. These are all Pantone matched. Anything with a screen transfer is Pantone matched. And this is often something that some schools, because they've been established for quite a long time, still do like a Pantone matched ink because it's very much part of their identity as a school. And to get a perfect Pantone match, the only way to do that is with a Plastisol ink, which is available on our 1 to 5 color screen and Inktra. And again, we can mix any color. So if a school comes to you and says it needs to be 7408C, no problem, we've got you covered. If it's not on this list, there's over 600 here now. If it's not on the list, we can mix it for you. We have the ability to create any color you want. So let's go with a white for now, because that's going to match the designs later. We click OK. And at this point, for Inktra, we're going to start out with 50 because that is the minimum order for this product. It is a prosumer product. So it means if you're doing the commercial printing like levers, I'd say anything over 50 is definitely commercial level. And this is where you want to get those good price points for. So just straight away, if you're doing a school of levers for, say, 100, the price is going to be £2.70 per sheet. Each sheet has to be the same, but you've got 2 transfers on there. So immediately, your starting price for a levers for 100 is going to be £1.35 per transfer. Really, really cost effective for you that way. If you were to do a school of, say, 100, price comes down straight away. So it's gone from £1.35 per transfer to £1.11 per transfer, just on the first price break. So you're already starting to save money. That's the great thing about screen transfers, is the more you order, the cheaper it gets. And for anyone that's interested and curious about pricing of levers hoodies, so let's say that's £1.11. The price for most jobs of ordering hoodies is around £8.45. So I checked this morning for orders of, say, more than 24 of the same size, but get a nice carton of JH001s, you're looking at £8.45 on Ralawise. So again, you've got less than £10 for the whole sort of materials cost of this hoodie. So if you could sell that for 15, 20, 25, or maybe if you're going a little bit more premium or some of the types of material you're using, you can make some really good profits. And that's why we always try and encourage you to do this. Even if levers is not your thing, this is an easy way to get more business and more revenue streams into your business. So it's a very, very simple way to be profitable between, say, January and May. But again, this design for 25 is being used already. We've got customers that are ordering the designs. I can see a few of you coming in. I can see Mel is there getting her orders in already. That's great to hear, Mel. Lovely to hear from you. They've got orders for 25 coming in already. So let's go and have a look at 25. So this is the best product the more you order, and one is going to give you a couple of other reasons why Inktra is the one you want to use where you can. But we can do 1 to 5 color, and we could do 25 as well. So let's go and pick that A3 again. Because this is the same ink process, it's a screen printed transfer. This is your traditional transfer. We've been manufacturing screen transfers for over 40 years on the same location here at Styles UK. So you take your design, let's do it black this time. Again, it doesn't matter what the color of the ink is. We're not going to charge you more for that. But so it starts out for 10. So I guess that's effectively 20. You're looking at £3, about £3.18 each. So if you were to do, say, 12 of those to make 20, let's do 13, I guess. You've got spare. You're going to pay like £3 plus the £8.45. So like, let's call it like £11 for the whole job that way. Obviously, you've got to factor your own time into it as well, but there's some nice profit. Again, if you're doing some smaller runs, so anyway, I mean, Mel, we know you live your local school's probably not 200 because anyone that missed her podcast with us, she's in a slightly more rural area of Scotland. But for someone so that way you've got the flexibility. So some orders will be smaller, and then some where you might be doing like say 200 or less, the price comes down. So for the traditional screen product, it's £2.03 for 100. So you're looking about £1 for each print that way. And you could put these onto jumbo prints, A4 prints, whatever works for you. You could gang this levers design up with something completely different. It's unrelated to levers. We don't charge you per design you put on here. It's your layout to do what you wish with it every single time. And then you just sit by. And the great thing about our levers transfers, if you're ordering a screen, they'll be back to you in a couple of days. If you want to do some test orders and perhaps try an Ultracolor Max, get one done, see what the interest is, see if your customer likes it. If you order by 8 a.m., we can ship that same day to you, so you get it the next day. We have the rapid turnaround in these because we know how important it is for you to have that relationship with the school or society to be able to get them quickly. For some schools where they're really organized, you will be able to have that conversation now and start that going. You start getting the prints done. But there's always going to be, come say June, and there's only a few weeks left of the school year, and a couple of kids like, I wish I'd ordered one, and the school's like, can you make one for them? And you'll say yes because you're wonderful. So that way you've got the flexibility. So if it's like 10, you could do it with the 1 to 5 color screen. If it's just like 3, put it through as an Ultracolor Max. Or if the school's really disorganized and they're like, yeah, we're ready to order now, we've got 150 for you, it still doesn't matter because we can get the transfer back to you quickly. And if you follow the right sort of steps when it comes to efficiency, you'll be able to get these done really quickly. So unless anyone has any questions, I think everyone seems to be happy with the artwork from the comments.
Yeah, we've had a lot of our regulars joining us, which is great.
So I'm going to hand over to Molly now, and she's going to talk about best process for fusing and applying these levers designs.
Okay, thank you, Andy. That is definitely one, like Andy said, to watch back. This video is going to be on our YouTube channel for the rest of time. So if you do watch this today and then you go back into work on Monday and think, I need to recap, it will be there. You can watch it, you can replay it. So everything you need is in this video. Now we're going to talk about application now. And as Andy said, there are multiple ways that you can order your custom heat transfers for levers. But today we are going to be demonstrating the new Inktra screen printed heat transfers. And as Andy said, they are for more volume jobs. They're one color, but my favorite part about these 4 levers is that they are a clear carrier and a hot peel. So, I mean, majority of levers work is one color anyway, right? So that's not necessarily an issue. Like you're going to be ordering like a black or a white. Most of the time it's going to be white like this. But these are our Inktra heat transfers. So as you can see, this is what you would normally see, like the printed ink on the carrier. But if I flip it round, you can also see, I'm trying to get it with the light, you can also see the names, the ink, everything on your design right here. So when it comes to placement, you no longer have to worry about, you know, the white paper carrier sort of judging if it's straight or not. You can completely see what you're doing. You can place it accurately. And if you have the ProPlace IQ system, which everyone wants and everyone should have, then you can use projection alignment, which for something like levers would really speed up your production process. Now, as Andy mentioned, efficiencies for heat printing, especially if you have got those higher volume orders. We did do a YouTube video using the ProPlace on how to save a lot of working days per year. I think the final number was like 86 or something, but we broke it all down into stages. So no matter where you're at with your business, you can make efficiency improvements. And that does finish on projection alignment with the ProPlace and the double-headed press. So I'd highly encourage you to go and watch that, even if you think something like that setup is a few years away for you. You want something to aim for, you want something to look forward to. So make sure you go and check that out. And there are stages in there as well. So silly efficiencies like this quick slip, for example, that we have on here that make gliding the garment on and off easier. If you can save a few seconds from that, if you're printing 100, 200, 300 levers hoodies, that's going to save you a lot of time. So go back and watch that video, recap that for efficiencies, and then come back here and we'll do the application. So like I said earlier, this is just an example we did on a t-shirt to show you at the beginning of the live. You've got the detail in there. There is no weeding involved with this, like we've already mentioned. Pure arrives on the carrier. All you have to do is press it 10 seconds. It does have a bit of stretch and rebound in it as well, which all our transfers come with as standard. So when people are putting it on, they're stretching it, like hoodies a bit tight, maybe over the waistband bit, that will not matter. Your transfer will still stay on there for the 75 plus washes if you follow these fusing instructions correctly. So let's jump into that. Now, actually, what I'm going to do first is just load this t-shirt on and check the pressure of my heat press. Now, I am using the Hotronics Auto Open today, which has got adjustable pressure from this dial in the middle here. So I manually twist this a quarter turn either way to increase and decrease the pressure. And it also has a pressure readout, which is this little red number here, which you might not be able to see on the live. But those of you that have looked at auto opens before, that have an auto open, will know digital readout on there. Now, the reason I'm going to do a test press is because we are printing onto hoodies today. Now, I have got two very, very popular styles when it comes to levers hoodies. Now, this is the JH001. Red's kind of a classic color for hoodies, isn't it? I feel like reds, purples, blues, all of your classic school colors. So we're going to print onto this one today. But obviously, hoodies are a lot thicker than t-shirts, especially this other one that I've got today, which we've had massive, we've seen massive increases in people using these for levers. So this is like the thicker cross neck one from Hoodies. And let me find the code for you. Where's the label gone? Don't tell me someone's torn the label out of this one.
I think it's the JH031.
I think it is because it doesn't have, oh no, it's here. I'm good. JH021.
Oh,
close, so close, Beth, so close. But yeah, this is the one that has like the chunky, like crossover front. Really, really nice, but it is quite thick, and obviously compared to a t-shirt, that is a significant difference in pressure for the machine. So I'm just going to use my release paper, which fell on the floor while Andy was talking.
Don't come at us, Matt.
Don't come at us, Matt. I had it ready, but it fell on the floor. And I am just going to do a quick, like 3-second press just to see where our pressure's at. So that's on a 5, which for printing on this t-shirt is perfectly fine. But if I put that hoodie under there, that's probably going to jump to like a 6 or a 7, which is probably a bit much. So medium pressure, if you remember, for Hotronics machines is 4 to 6. Now, when we're printing on hoodies, we don't want to crush them. You don't want to crush any garment, but because hoodies are a bit thicker, they've got the fleece element on the inside, maybe, you really don't want to crush them because you will end up with that box mark. So I'm just going to lower the pressure off just a tiny bit until we maybe get to like 3. See, that's on a 1, so that's too light at the moment, so we need to increase it a little bit. I'm probably going to aim for like a 4 because that's still medium pressure, but it's the lighter end of medium. So we'll just bring it down a little bit and try again. So that's on a 3 now, so flickering between a 2 and a 3. So let's take our t-shirt off of here and let's put the hoodie on. I'm going to do the black one first, thank you. So threading the hoodie on, and obviously we're going to apply this onto the back of the hoodie. So when we place it, we need to make sure that the hood, black probably isn't the best example, that your hood doesn't cover your design. So we'll cover that as well. But yeah, we're going to be printing onto the back. So we're going to take the bottom of the hoodie, open it up, and we're going to thread this on. So this auto open is on a caddy stand. So not only can you wheel it around and move it, I've locked it so I can't now, but you can also adjust the height as well. So perfect for any user. If you've got multiple like staff working for you and the different heights between shifts, you can change it so that they don't get like arm ache or anything from reaching too high. So thread that on, and make sure that we have a completely flat print surface area. Now, this hoodie has been stored here in our showroom, but I'm still not 100% sure how much like moisture is in it. It doesn't have too many creases on it, but we still want to preheat the garment just to make sure it's perfect for the application. So I'm going to take my release paper and just cover over. And then I'm going to reset my press because I'm pretty sure it was about to pre-press for 10 seconds. And check our pressure. So that's on a 6 to 7, so even that's too high. So again, we're going to lighten it off a little bit more and make sure that we're not crushing this garment. So that's on a 4, perfect. Removing that release paper, and now our garment is, I can feel that's nice and warm and ready for the transfer. So taking our Levers 2025 design, this is the exact same design as the template Andy has just been editing for you. So this is what yours will look like. And again, this is Inktra. So this is the one color screen print, clear carrier. Look at that detail. Look at that. No weeding. Can you imagine weeding all of that? Look at that. Who wants to, it's upside down. Who wants to weed that? Like, seriously, no.
I would love to know if anybody is weeding them.
If you are weeding, please just like what? No, just I have no words. That's not even worth a rant. Like, let's just move on. So we're going to place it down. Now, I'm not going to place it down too soon because it is quite warm. I just want to make sure by lifting up this hood and folding it over roughly where it's going to fall, that our transfer isn't going to be hidden by it. So that's about right. Place it on there. And now we are still going to use a release paper to cover over this transfer. Now, Inktra is a hot peel, but it's such a good hot peel that if this press will pull the carrier up a bit with it. Now, we want full control over how we peel this carrier off. So we are going to be using release paper just so that we don't have any of that lift going on. And you'll see when this press opens, it will pull the release paper up a bit and the carrier will stay down. If we didn't use this paper, it would pull the carrier sheet up a bit. And what you want to do when you peel your heat transfers is go from one corner to the next in one smooth motion. You don't want it half lifting and then pulling it again. Nice, smooth one peel. So we're going to cover our transfer over, fuse it for 10 seconds. So we're at 160 degrees, same as our 1 to 5 color screen print. And 10 seconds is all it takes to get a really premium Levers transfer on a hoodie that will last the 75 plus washes. So one corner to the other, one smooth motion, and you can see you've got a bit of the imprint, but there's no ink left on that anymore. And then if I remove this and show you, there is our finished product. So if I flop this hood back over, perfect placement there. It just sits above it, and you've got the fine detail in there. Look at that, perfect. It really feels like part of the garment. It's nice and soft. I love it. It looks fantastic.
I'm not much, but I feel like it's a good time to say that none of the dots on the eyes were lost on that.
No, that's very true.
HTV.
How many people in the comments have lost little cavities like that from weeding? Do you want to say something? I can see you leaning.
Yeah, I was going to say this is also that it's worth noting that there's not a key line in sight on any of those letters, and you don't need a key line with the one color Inktra product, because that means you can get even tinier details. So those schools where they are a bit bigger and need to fit even more names on, you've got even more flexibility now because the Inktra product can hold more data than more detail than
more data. You're in your Excel mode.
Yes, yeah, more detail than anything.
That I would stand here and do close-ups all day, but it's probably really boring. But it looks so cool. Like, I love it. Love that finish. So that is the black one. Do we have any questions on application so far before I move on?
No, everyone's staying quiet so far.
Oh, come on, people. Let's have some comments. Where are you all today? Right, let's do the red one. Now, I was a little bit apprehensive about doing red on a live because red is a little bit more prone to scorching. But the thing I did want to explain to people about scorching is that sometimes it's a scorch mark and sometimes it's just a bit of a heat mark. So if you apply onto something like this, which is quite a heavily dyed like red fabric, or like really, really vibrant colors, you might get a little bit of a mark when you initially press it, even if you're on like light pressure. But if you give it like a day, that will often lift out because the fibers sort of lift a little bit. And the heat comes out of the garment. So there is a difference between a press like mark, like a heat mark, and you've scorched that garment to the point of no return. So let's give this one a go and see how this acts under the heat press. Now, obviously, if you do want to completely avoid heat press marks, which we all want to do because who wants to send out a product with a massive mark on it? Nobody. We do have multiple accessories to help you out with that. So I'd probably recommend you start with like a Grit Flex cover, for example, something a bit thicker. And then, I mean, we have things like lower heat and that, but for things like Leavers hoodies, you probably won't need to go that far. But if you head to our YouTube channel and check out the arch method, then you can have a look at how to completely eliminate scorch marks from your transfer applications. So where's my paper gone? It's exactly the same process. We're gonna pre-press. So that pressure's on, that's too light now. Different type of hoodie, and I did adjust it because it was on a 5 for the black one and I wanted it to be a bit less, obviously, for the red. Let's attempt. That's on a 6 now. She's so sensitive, it's literally like a quarter turn each time. I'm gonna leave it on that because the more we press it, the more it's gonna mark up. Okay, and then we've got same transfer. Place it down, make sure that the hood isn't covering it too much. Cover with release paper and fuse for 10 seconds. The thing that I love the most about using this setup for Leavers hoodies is that everything that you don't need, the hood, the arms, the bulky front and the pocket, just completely hang out of the way and you can just completely isolate and see the area that you want to print on. Like, it makes such a difference. Yeah, and then here you have your finished print on the red. It does, doesn't it? White on red is always a good idea, especially like with the it's like royal blue as well, and like the purples, all of those bright colors with the white, I just absolutely love. So yeah. So any questions on application? I feel like my section's really short compared to Andy's, but I mean, it's kind of, it really is that quick and simple. Like I have nothing else to fill.
That's the good thing. It means even if you get like 200 levers, you could rattle through that in a couple of hours probably. So
yeah, literally.
That's why it's such an important part of the business. If you haven't got it, you really need to be factoring it in. And we have done some podcasts and some videos in the past about how to actually approach this in a bit more detail, where we've just talked about how to approach schools and the opportunity. So if this is the first time you've ever thought about levers, go back to our podcast feed and just search for levers, and you'll be able to find probably about 4 or 5 separate podcasts just on this subject, because it's really such a great option for all of you.
Yeah, we have delved a lot deeper into this topic, but obviously for today we just wanted to cover, you know, how to get the template, edit the artwork, fuse it, ship the job out the door. So everything you need from a practical point of view is here, but yeah, from more of a like business strategy point of view, we've done lots of content on that. And this will not be the only Levers Live that we're going to do for 2025. So if there is something that you have a question on, or you want more information on, you want us to talk about in a bit more detail, then leave a comment, let us know, and we will do that as well. Where do we go from here, guys? I feel like we've covered everything, but it's 1:45, I suppose. We've done 45 minutes.
Yeah, I was just going to say, just to reiterate for everyone, that this is the first Levers season ever where Inktra has been available. So this, when we're not just talking, saying, well, what's new for 2025, and just, you know, trying to polish something up a little bit. It's like, no, this is really
talking about it for the sake of it.
This is really something that will help a lot of you. I know a lot of you do struggle with the detail and trying to line up the levers designs because of how much text there is in the number.
It's hard.
Which is one of the reasons we've wanted to develop this product and get it right. So this is it's a system that's exclusive to us. It's only available from the custom.styles.co.uk website. It's quicker than normal. You've shaved a couple of seconds of time off, and like Molly showed you, that hot peel is really good. So you can, it peels on the press, so you can get through that work that a little bit quicker, and it really has that extra enhanced hand feel to it with the way it feels so soft and vintage. So this year is the first year in probably a few years when it's been something really new. Since Ultra Color came out probably 3 or 4 years ago, and our DTF product, but this is the one you want for those bigger numbers. So if it's less than 50, go with 1 to 5 color screen. Remember, if it's a 1 color product, 1 color transfer, pick a 1 color product, because why spend more money? But if it's more than 50, go straight to inkjet, because the savings are there. It's probably about, just at the 50 units, it's about 50% cheaper than most other transfer types do the same work with. And once you get into 100, 150, you're looking at some really big savings versus any other decoration method for doing levers design. So it's really the one, if you really want to get those extra margins, Inktra is the best product to use. That's why we really want to help you out this year, and send you on the right path with the right product. So always remember what to use when, the right product at the right time is really important. All of these products are available to you, so it's just about picking the option that works for you, and whether it's one design at a time, or maybe try and get 6 or 7 onto one of the jumbo sheets, depending on what works for you best.
The other thing I will mention as well, depending on where you're at in your business, if you already have a heat press or you already have a Hotronics press, for example, then fantastic. We love you. Everyone loves Hotronics. But if you're thinking, I think it's time I maybe upgraded my cheaper press that I started my business with, but isn't really like helping and serving me anymore, then I would definitely recommend that you check out our heat press bundles. And I know I say this every time on lives, but the value that you save with those bundles, if you're thinking of getting a heat press anyway, like you could, depending on which one that you get, you could pay for your first levers job or 2 or 3 levers jobs even with a bundle with the press you were going to buy anyway. So think about how much profit you can make from just one levers job. What if you took the cost of the transfers out of that completely? That's what this bundle will give you. Like, you can have a heat press, you can get all of the accessories and transfer credit all for less money than you would if you added it all to your basket just from the website. So if you are thinking of upgrading your press, of getting your first heat press, definitely purchase a bundle with custom heat transfer credit and get all of the essential accessories that are going to help you be more productive, be more accurate, be more efficient. Things that, let's be honest, you're going to end up getting anyway, because once you get the press without the quick slip, you're going to end up getting it. So just get it from the beginning. It's a lot easier for everyone involved. What else do we want to mention today? We have got another live, is it next week? Yeah. Next week, thank you very much, Director, with the winter warm-up rerun, sorry. So those of you that didn't manage to get tickets to the winter warm-up in-person event that happened last month, can't believe we're in October. That sounds so weird saying last month. We are going to do a rerun of that this time next week. So I'm going to show you how you can heat print onto winter jackets, the really premium ones as well. And I think Andy's going to join me as well and talk through his section. Yep, he is.
We're going to talk a little bit about what the opportunity is, how you could approach it, and why it could be another really nice revenue earner for all of you.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one. So yeah, if you didn't manage to get tickets, don't worry. We're going to recap everything in this live. So make sure you're subscribed on YouTube, turn your notifications on, subscribe to the newsletter. I don't think I have anything else to mention. We've got new YouTube videos going out. We've got new podcasts coming. But yeah, other than that, we'll be back next Friday with another live. And to get started on anything and everything levers related, just head to custom.styles.co.uk. Thank you, Andy, for joining me. Thank you, Beth, our director, and I'll see you all next Friday.